Welcome to New Life Live with host and founder of New Life Ministries, Stephen Arterburn. New Life Live is dedicated to transforming lives one at a time, thanks to the giving hearts of you, our listeners. Our goal is to provide you with wisdom from God's Word to give you hope and help in life's hardest places. If you have a question you'd like to ask today, our phone lines are open. Call 1-800-229-3000. That number again is 1-800-229-3000. Now here's Steve.
Welcome to New Life Live. So glad that you're with us here today. It is Wednesday. We're glad you're with us. And when I say us, two great people. Dr. Youll Hubbard is here. Hi, Jill. And Milan Yerkovich. They're in the house. Hi, guys. You know, this weekend we did a life recovery conference. It's the only one we do where we don't actually have therapists to process. You know, it's truly literally a seminar. But we've got intimacy and marriage coming up. And Milan, whenever we tell people what it is, I think they hear, oh, it's just another marriage thing. But could you, in only a way that only you could do it, convince people it's not just another marriage thing? I don't know how to do that.
Read a book, we hear a class, we do something, and it'll be easy. Somehow something will click and we will just be on track. And that's certainly not the case. What this consists of is 12 hours of lectures with Kay and myself and you, of course. Yeah. And then they meet with therapists and maybe 3 other couples. And in there, they do a lot of work. They are given practice, and then they are also, over that course of time, followed up on. And I think people walk in with just inaccurate expectations, but they walk out very amazed and very impressed. I'm always amazed, Steve, when we have our testimonials at the end of a weekend. Just people saying what a difference 48 hours made. Now, in this particular case, it's going to be 12 hours. But we see a lot of great things happening during that time.
Yeah, and it's not just lectures, Milan.
No.
It is moving information that primes the pumps for the groups, right?
Yep.
Yeah, well, and changes it gives paradigm shifts.
See, I like the way you said it even better than I did. See, Steve deferred to me, I'm deferring to you. See, why we need this team?
Yes.
Well, you know, people say, what can you do in that short amount of time? Well, you know, if you're hurtling down a mountain and you're about to go off a 100-foot ledge, and we could change your direction, all you got to do is it takes a second to change your direction. And we can change the direction or the trajectory of what's going on with you in a very, very short length of time. And then you do the work, you stay with it, and you see the transformation occur. But, you know, Becky Brown and I, we facilitated a group, and she followed up with all the couples, and it was absolutely astonishing. Every couple she talked to, they were doing something totally different than before. They were enjoying their marriage. One couple said, well, we're actually talking to each other for the first time. That's a pretty cool thing when people do that. So
very cool.
Yeah. So anyway, if you want to be part of it, you could sign up right now by calling 1-800-NEW-LIFE. There are books, there are seminars, but there's nothing like our intimacy in marriage intensive, because you don't just find out how to communicate better, because what good does it do to be able to tell each other you hate each other better because you communicate better? We take it back, way back, how you even got attracted to each other, and that's going to give you some insight in how you could get, quote unquote, re-attracted. And that's pretty exciting when we see that happen. We'll take this break and come right back. Really glad you're with us. 1-800-229-3000. Thank you for being here. We've been doing this now for over 32 years, and we absolutely love getting to do this, and we can't do it without you. We'll be back.
I came into this thinking that my husband was the cause of many of our issues.
The New Life Intimacy and Marriage Workshop will be held online Saturday, October 24th.
But after learning about our attachment styles, I understood how our past hurts were playing into our present problems.
Join Steve Arterburn.
It's been a dream of mine for a long time to help people to grow more intimately together. And we believe that everybody has room to grow in the intimacy level of their life.
And Milan Yerkovich.
We help couples understand how their attachment style is sabotaging their current relationship. And then we teach them how to create comfort in a relationship.
To register or to find out more, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433 or go to newlife.com.
Here at this workshop, we had our first ever conversation without yelling, blaming, and accusing.
1-800-NEW-LIFE. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back to Arterburn here, and let's go to our phones. We are going to talk right now to, how about Nancy from Tampa, Florida, listening on the great station WTLN. Hi, Nancy. You are on with Milan Yerkovich, Dr. Jill Hubbard, Steve Arterburn. Glad you're with us today. How can we help?
Hi there. I'm wondering if you guys can try to help me figure out why my grown son, adult son of 50 years old, won't talk to me. We had the most awesome relationship you can ever dream up. He even came all the way from his state to my state just to bring me flowers for my birthday. So he's a very perfectionist. He's very strict and rigid person. I was wondering, I was racking my brain, so I thought of a couple things. He sent, what happened last was, he sent, last thing he ever texted was he wasn't going to come to the funeral of his nephew. And that was the last I heard of him. But he sent like about a dozen texts right before that telling us how we should do the funeral, how about all these social service things that we could do. But my other son didn't follow that way. He went a different way.
Well, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. That's how he indicated that everything wasn't going to go well. Was there two things? Was there any new person in his life that you're aware of recently?
No, he's been married for many years.
All right, and then your husband. Tell me about him.
Divorced a long time now, many years.
And has he ever expressed any feelings about that divorce?
Only when he was 13. Only when he was 13 he did. He doesn't talk to his dad either. He thinks his dad was wrong in the marriage, and he's talked to me all these years. It's only been like about a year since he hasn't talked to me.
Well, let me ask Jill to step in, and then we'll go to Milan and see what they're thinking.
Nancy, I can see how upsetting this would be to have relationship and then feel like it abruptly stopped. What attempts have you made?
Very close.
Yeah, that.
Oh.
What attempts have you made to connect with him?
Oh, I keep texting him and saying, "Son, tell me why. At least tell me why." I keep asking him.
Yeah.
I keep sending texts.
And
nothing.
And do you have a very close relationship with his wife?
Not that close.
Okay.
I always kind of felt like she was a little jealous of us. He did say things to her, like one time he wanted me to stay for a week, and she didn't want me that long, and he said, well, your mother stays 3 months, so I think my mother should be able to stay at least a week. And so they used to fight about things like that.
Okay.
And she wouldn't treat me very nice.
So she's not an avenue to reach out to.
Well,
to see if he's okay. I mean, I would want to know, is he okay? Has something happened to him? if he's no longer communicating.
Right. He came on Facebook one day and he put a new picture of himself, and he has a lot of friends, and like 50 people liked it, and so did I. That was the only contact since then, and that was just a few weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I really wonder about his wife, and maybe she is jealous and had a change of attitude about you or something, because, life does make sense. Milan, you have thoughts about what might have happened here?
Well, Nancy, you indicated to us that he's rigid, and that's really important here. Has he ever previously gone in and out of times of communication with you, or has he ever in the past?
Never.
Okay, so there's never been a time where you have not had closeness.
Never. We were very close. He was expensive gifts, coming just to take me out to dinner.
Okay, so Nancy, here's what I recommend. Have you actually called him?
No, I only text him.
Why?
He's so strict. I don't know. Maybe a little fear. He's so strict. I just want to text so I can just say everything I want to say.
And maybe that's the problem. We oftentimes say things and we don't have enough information. Mm-hmm. And so we're speaking to something that might not even be accurate or true. If I have to have a serious conversation with anybody, I never text. I only use text to say, hey, I'm going to be 5 minutes late. And it's never to have conversations. He needs to hear your voice. And I did this once with one of my sons. I said to him, I can tell there is strain or tension in our relationship. Tell me what is difficult about a relationship with me. And we talked for 2 hours, and it didn't take him long to get started either. So, and it turned out being a great thing. But you really need to use your personal voice and then ask him what's going on. Now, I'm a bit concerned about your 2 words about him, rigid and strict.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because what that means is he can create structures in his mind that are hard to break. So, which means he can make a decision, and then it's hard for him to change that. And often he'll want those decisions to be imposed upon other people. So I would just have a phone conversation with him. That's all you can do.
Well, and reaching out by phone would be something different, Nancy.
Yes.
Because you're alarmed. This is something new to your relationship. So it takes a different tactic, right? It's trying to reach out in a more personal way. And, it could be in his rigidity with the nephew's funeral. It's interesting that he didn't come to that when he was coming to visit for so many other things. And you all not following his instructions, may have caused him to, in one sense, flip a switch in terms of feeling betrayed by you all. Not the case, but that may be a conclusion that he drew. So to be able to hear that and, hear his side and connect with him, you may have a better chance via the phone.
Okay. Now, I just want to say this to you, that a lot of times when people call, it's our job, we think it's our job, to point out a contradiction, something that doesn't make sense. And when people describe their relationship with a child, an adult child that's close, they're not afraid to talk with them because that adult child is strict. Good. They aren't just texting, and there isn't anything that you've told us about your relationship with him. And I would say to you that it probably has felt better for you to think you were close, but what you're seeing is he's making some bolder moves and really kind of showing you this is the real relationship that we have. And I think that phone call you should ask him, have I done anything recently that has hurt you? Have I and is there anything I could do to get us back on the same page or make things better, something like that. You want to listen to him a lot versus talk a lot. Really important.
Okay.
You ask him questions. How's he feeling? Is there something that's happened? That kind of stuff.
Right, because you're trying to understand the silence.
Yeah.
What his silence is trying to say.
All right, I'm going to send you How We Love, and I'll tell you there's some just wonderful insight into how kids are, how they develop in relation to how they were raised, and I think it might give you some good insight here. So hold on, and I'll get that to you. 1-800-229-3000. It is really interesting. It's painful too when we find out what we believed isn't exactly true.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and even for him to do a present or to drive a distance and take her out to dinner, those are all nice gestures, of course, but it doesn't mean we're close. We can misinterpret what closeness means.
Right.
And that we really don't know what a person's feelings are or what their internal reactive behaviors are like or how they think. But Steve, you're absolutely right on what you did there. You said we do want to point out contradictions. For her to say we're very close, but he's rigid, strict, and I'm afraid of him, that would seem to imply just the opposite of closeness. Mm-hmm. So good point.
And, when somebody's close, you talk with them. You might not talk with, you could be close and not talk with them for another month. And you just pick up where you left off. When there aren't any of these rules, assumptions, fences that are so tripwires, easy to trip, that kind of thing. So I hope this is helpful to her and insightful that if you had a child just bringing you a gift or something like that and you thought you were close, evaluate that and let this, maybe be a message to you. I ought to look into this. Are we really
Well,
close?
familiarity is different than intimacy. And a lot of times we confuse the two.
Yes, and
right?
Respect is different than closeness, and acknowledgement is different than closeness. So, all right, really glad that you called, Nancy, and I hope what we've said is helpful. Let's go to Kathy. Ballard, West Virginia is where she's calling from. NRB Television Network is how she sees us. Hi there, Kathy. How are you today?
I'm fine. Thank you for taking my call.
Sure. What's going on?
In early August, I sent an email to a number of friends and family regarding COVID, tips on how to prevent or lessen the severity, and also some correction of some of the statistics, which I think is that it's not the death sentence that the media is portraying it to be.
Uh-huh.
As some background, I've done 30 years of pharmaceutical research, and my husband and I also had COVID in March.
Okay.
I got back a number of very, very nasty emails saying I was a bad Christian, that I was killing people, that I didn't know what I was talking about. Now, these people are supposedly people that love me, and I don't know how to respond. I know I'm supposed to forgive them, but I really don't want to talk to them anymore or have any association with them.
Okay. Well, Milan, you ever thought about this? What might be causing them to have such a I guess you'd say extreme reaction, and then what it might mean?
Well, it's interesting that you say they love me and then they sent me hate mail. Maybe you don't have an accurate assessment as to what some of these people think of you. And people are reactive. And I think the issue is less, am I to forgive them and then move on with life? I think it's less that, and I think it's more to hold up a mirror to yourself and ask yourself the question, I wonder what it's like for people around me. What do they feel like around me? Some people are having bad reactions. How do I come across to them? What should I learn from this? Often, I don't ask people if they want something or, that I can give them or contribute an idea to them unless I ask them permission first. And then that's a different story. I get a lot of stuff from people all the time saying, you need to do this, watch this, look at this, this isn't accurate, blah, 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 blah. And, people, I'm sorry you were hurt by it. I think you were trying to do the right thing. But I think you need to pay attention to some of the people and ask, what do I need to learn from this?
Yeah. Okay, we'll
come back.
I got a couple of things I want to ask you when we come back. You're listening to New Life Live. Really glad that you are. Why don't you join me? You could watch New Life Ministries on YouTube channel. There's New Life Live. There's Going Deeper and Life Recovery Today. It's all there on our YouTube channel.
After I found the pornography on the internet, I said, you either get help or I have to leave this household.
Every day, thousands of women discover their husband is struggling with sexual integrity. And since shelter-in-place orders have gone into effect, traffic to porn sites has skyrocketed. New Life's Every Man's Battle Workshop can help.
I believed that I could do it on my own. I just believed that if I tried hard enough and pulled myself up hard enough by my bootstraps, I could do it. It was a battle that I'd had all my life. I had to get help.
The Every Man's Battle Workshop can be a trip to the Sexual Addiction Emergency Room. During this time of social distancing, the Every Man's Battle Workshop will be held online Saturday, October 10th. Find sexual integrity, accountability, and connection. Register now to reserve a place at the Every Man's Battle online workshop. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
The single most helpful thing was to realize that I wasn't the weirdest guy on the planet.
Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. 1-800-NEWLIFE.
Hi, this is Steve Arterburn, and for 30 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
Your ministry has saved my life.
If you struggle with emotional hurt, family or marriage problems, the pit of depression, or the pain of addictions, we can help.
I'm down 100 pounds now from what I was.
You guys are awesome. You're a blessing to America.
Our treatment programs provide clinically appropriate solutions from licensed professionals, all in a biblical framework.
I have had problems with alcohol. I think God has ordained this place to be His.
You don't have to be a prisoner of your pain. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
She tells me that I'm a new man, and I feel like a new man.
It worked for me, and it can work for them too.
This time it is different.
If you're ready to take the first step toward genuine spiritual and emotional healing, please call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. God can open the door to a better tomorrow right now. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433.
We'd love to hear from you. If you have a question or a comment, call toll-free 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back. Steve Arterburn here, Dr. Jill Hubbard, Milan Yerkovich, talking with Kathy, and felt like she had some insight she wanted to share with folks, and she had the virus, COVID virus, and got some hate mail back. Kathy, I just want to ask you real quick, then I'll turn it over to Jill. What would a typical hate message back to you be like? What were they saying to you, people that you thought you were close enough to send an email to, but that you're saying it was hate mail? What does that mean?
Well, one person told me that my information was dangerous, that it was going to kill people, and that my brand of Christianity was false. Then I had somebody else tell me that that they were not a child and that they could do their own research, and just things along that line.
Well, I can see how it could be termed hate mail, but it's not really hate. It's just
strongly
really rude,
disagreeing.
Rudely disagreeing or whatever. Jill, what are you thinking here?
Well, I think, Kathy, it sounds like you had good intentions, and it is really surprising to have people react that way. Sometimes it's about reading your audience. If you have a really fearful audience and you think you're going to enlighten them, you're really not meeting them where they're at. And so there's a disconnect there. So it's important to look at, would these people be receptive to what I have to say? And am I thinking somehow that I'm the person to enlighten them when they aren't even asking. And I know, Milan, we were talking at the break about that idea of really she only, like Kathy, you can only really look at your part in this, right?
Yeah, because when people react to me, and let me go back and say, Jesus spoke truth in the New Testament, and people reacted to him.
Badly.
Badly.
Yes.
Well, some
they wanted to kill him.
Some reacted well, and
yes.
some reacted very adversely, as you said, Jill. Mm-hmm. So, what we still want to take these kinds of things and walk away and take lessons from them, because the people's responses are simply what they are, and we're not going to correct or change those things. And odds are we're not going to be able to talk to the people for clarification. But the bottom line is, I always ask the question, how am I personally, me, coming across? I have an individual that sends me massive amounts of email, and I just delete it all because I'm completely overloaded with the amount of information this individual sends.
So that's what you're doing with my email.
Yeah, Steve,
no wonder
I'm
you're
so
not
sorry, Steve, to tell you this, but the bottom line is, Kathy, have you ever had anybody else react to your good intentions in the past?
Yes. I am a very results-oriented person. Mm. If you come to me with a problem, my tendency is to give you advice.
Right. So this is
part of the problem.
Part of the problem, but Kathy, thank you for your very honest answer.
No
that was
kidding.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And I think that's where I would just slow down and then stop and think, because I know you're helpful. I know you want to help. I know you had COVID. And so you want to help people. But you also have to look at the larger picture of, have other people had reactions toward me? And if that's the case, maybe I need to back off on the throttle just a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Maybe not come across so authoritarian. Maybe ask their permission. Offer, I have this information, I've had COVID, I've researched it. If anybody is interested, let me know.
Yeah, which is what I do with everybody, almost everybody. I ask them, I had an idea, may I tell it to you?
And a lot of times, people, unless they're directly asking, they don't really want advice, they want to be heard.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let me ask you one quick question. What would be the most controversial thing that you told them? I'm just so curious, I got to know this, that, not to overreact and stuff. Was there anything they said they didn't need to do, or?
No, I'm not exactly sure what they're reacting to, but I did say that only about 3% of people that have gotten it have died, so that there's a 97% survival rate. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if that's what they think is so upsetting. But now my problem is I don't want to talk to these people ever again.
Yeah. Well, you're going to have to. Okay, so people have very strange reactions during very strange times. And I would suggest that rather than stake out my territory, I don't want to talk with them, let's just say they're under stress, they're tremendously worried about this, and you didn't fit with kind of where they had landed to protect themselves. That you kind of rocked the cradle that was providing some stability. So I would encourage you to not take that position and let it play out. I would be aware that they may not like you or totally never come around. But still, I'd give them the benefit.
Well, right,
of the
because
doubt
when
for a
you
while.
go that extreme, you're doing the same thing they are doing in reverse.
Yeah.
So I would email those 2 or 3 people and say, tell me what part of my email was offensive to you. Yeah. Because I'd like to learn. And then that, instead of rejecting them and cutting off the relationship, to your point, Jill, would be a healthy way to get a mirror held up for you to say, okay, these were the offensive parts. Mm-hmm. So
and for them.
Yes.
And if you're results oriented, there's certain people in the world that hate result oriented people. They're relationship oriented people, or they're emotion oriented. And so that's part of the deal. And maybe that's played in here also. I hope something we've said is good. I'll send you Forgiving What You'll Never Forget.
Most of my life I've been dealing with an opiate addiction.
Why is opioid addiction quickly becoming one of our nation's biggest killers? Maybe it's because it isn't only those who are addicted who are in denial.
We did what I see so many parents do, is it can't be an addiction. There's something medically wrong.
It's impossible to solve a problem when you don't know what you're up against, and families will try to find any explanation except the one that will put them on the right path.
Alcoholism and drug addiction is a family disease. It doesn't affect just the individual.
If someone you love is abusing painkillers, know what you're up against. It's time to admit it's addiction and seek treatment. Call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We have Christ-centered partner treatment centers around the country. Call 1-800-639-5433 or visit us online at newlife.com.
We just made a decision. We will do whatever it takes.
1-800-NEW-LIFE.
Hi, this is Steve Arterburn, and for 30 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
I'm an addict, and I'm trying to get God in my life again.
You seem to be able to get to the crux of a problem quickly.
Our Christ-centered treatment programs can help you break free to embrace all that God has for you and your family.
I just want to thank you guys for bringing me to a relationship with Jesus.
There really is help for marital problems, depression, addictions, panic attacks, and feelings of hopelessness.
I came back with so many tools to help me prepare myself to fight this struggle and this battle that I have every day.
You can start living again today, living the life God intended for you. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
They did care, and they did follow up very lovingly, and it made all the difference in my life.
Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Someone who cares is waiting at the other end of the phone. God can open the door to a better tomorrow right now. Just call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. 1-800-639-5433.
We're glad you joined us for New Life Live. To be a part of the program, call 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back. Steve Arterburn here, and you just don't know everything about people, and I didn't know that Larry Sonnenberg was such an animal lover. He sent me the most amazing picture of a gorilla this past weekend, Larry. I just am so grateful for that, and I did not know that you were kind of a little hidden zoologist. Anyway, how are we doing today? And what did you bring? What did you bring into the?
Steve, you lost him.
You lost
He's
him.
gone.
No, he's on the floor.
He's gone.
Steve God's going to get you for that. Oh, goodness.
Anyway,
I got three things I want to talk about.
Okay, good. Do it.
See what I can do quickly. First off, yesterday, a new friend called me. She's been a Club New Life member. Her name's Melissa, and she called real late in the day and said, "Hey, I want to give $5,000 to New Life, but I want you to get it matched." So I thought, I'm going to get it matched. So I'm reaching out to you folks. Maybe it's one person, maybe it's 100 people, 1,000 people, but however you can, if you would make a gift today and tell people, whoever you talk to or however you give it, just say you want to have it matched. And as soon as that's matched, we'll grab that $5,000 and we'll have $10,000 realized. So
she's just wanting to make the most of her gift.
Yeah.
I love that.
Great.
Yeah. So what else do you have for us?
What else I have? I have Every Man's Battle is coming up this Saturday. So here's what Ryan said when he went. My life's forever changed by the actions that were exposed just 5 weeks ago. I had an affair, thought my life was over. We started counseling, but that seemed to be more geared to the victim. EMB is a wonderful program designed to help the perpetrator heal. I needed to... I'm sorry, I keep thinking of
the gorilla. I know, I'm like, this is really funny.
Well, the thing, what I loved about the gorilla, he was so generous. The gorilla was so generous.
Here, Milan, I'm in the middle of that.
Okay, this is called Losing Control for 500, Alex.
Sorry.
So EMB is a wonderful program designed to help the perpetrator heal. I needed to tell my story without being judged. I needed to heal. EMB helped with that. Again, this is his testimony. It helped me realize that I needed to work on what I needed to work on to become the husband the rest of the world thought I was. Larry, You might have to step out of the room if you keep laughing like that. Larry, the door.
To also
Larry?
hearing him wheeze.
See how it feels,
I know the
Milan?
wheezing.
When you
yes.
and Steve did this to me?
Honey, that was 12 years ago. Come on.
I haven't forgotten it.
I know. Okay. I apologize. I'm
That's
so sorry
funny.
for that. Larry, would you step out of the room, please? Larry? Okay.
Okay, this guy's
It will
story
take
is sincere.
time and a whole lot of work, but I feel confident of two things. That EMB gave me tools I need to advance my relationship. Number two, I'm not a monster and I am still worthy of love. EMB also opened my eyes to the Bible. 5 weeks ago, I was an atheist. Today, I don't know what I am, but I know there's something out there that is helping me, helping my wife, and helping each of us to become the men that we need to be. Wow, what a beautiful story from Ryan.
Well, here's what I love. This thing about I am not a monster. You know, if you feel like you're a monster, something subhuman, then you're more likely to do more subhuman, monstrous things. And God comes in rich in mercy and sets the model for us. No, you're not a monster. You're somebody that maybe got caught up in an addiction, a really crummy thing, but it's not hopeless for you. And that's what we love seeing, is the transformation and the turnaround that exists when people come to Every Man's Battle. Now, let me just say this. If you think you might benefit, call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE, because I'll guarantee you will. If you wonder if you would benefit, you will. And if you know someone that you think would benefit, call us and let us tell you how to tell them it would be so great for you to go to this. It is a no-shame zone. You call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. And then if you want to help us with this, if you want to help more men discover they're not monsters, but they're men who have a calling from God, and help them step back into that calling, you call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE and help us help them. Thank you, Larry.
Steve,
appreciate it.
One last thing. The lady, she's a Club New Life member, and she said, I want to make sure that if somebody joins Club New Life, their first gift will go to the match.
Whoa, that's awesome.
Okay.
I love that.
Okay.
And when you join Club New Life, we send you this. How to Conquer Worry and Anxiety by Dr. Daniel Amen. Growth Has No Boundaries, Cloud Townsend. Emotional Freedom Workbook, Arterburn and Neal. Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life, Dr. Stoop. And Forgiving What You'll Never Forget, also by Dr. Stoop. And Healing is a Choice by Arterburn. And Take Your Life Back Day by Day, Arterburn and Stoop. All of that comes to you, our way of saying thank you for joining Club New Life. All right, let's go to Karen, Costa Mesa, California. KKLA is the station. Hi, Karen. How are you today?
I'm good, and so glad I was able to reach you guys today.
Me too.
So I love you guys, really love you guys. So I have a neighbor. I have some great neighbors. Been knowing them for about 13 years. They have assisted in helping their daughter, who has been in a few relationships, raise her children. She has a 15-year-old boy, and then she has a 6-year-old little girl and a 4-year-old boy. And
okay.
So there's been she's always been the one who was a victim. She blames her mom for the past. Well, her mom and stepdad have made great strides. They've overcome addictions. They're working hard, and they really have supported this young lady, about 35 years old. I thought she was a Christian. Come to find out, she was actually worshiping satanic stuff, Reiki, and all of that. So anyway, the latest event, and there have been several, including her accusing her mom's, husband of molesting her while they were inebriated. That was just a couple of months ago. And then she turned on me because I asked her, well, what part? Sometimes we have to step back. They drink, they carouse, they, talk all kind of crazy, nasty stuff. So she said, I will never forgive you. Don't talk to me, blah, blah, blah. So she doesn't
tell
want
us what's
to
going
sit
on right
around
now.
Grandpa.
Karen, tell us what's going on right
now. The latest event was her 15-year-old son, who the little 6-year-old girl said that her brother was touching her.
Okay.
Mother went furious, as I understand. But the very next day, the cops came and picked up this boy. He's not a boy that gets in trouble. You know, he's really vying for his mom's love and affection. She had the cops arrest him right off the bat. She didn't give anybody a chance to counsel with him or anything. And now she is out. She got a lawyer to take him down, and she refers to him as he. He'll never get out. He'll never be around.
Where is the boy? Where's the boy?
Okay, so they finally released him out 2 days ago out of the juvenile hall.
Okay, so what's the question? What's the question for us then?
I don't know. You know, I heard you guys talk about every man's battle for older people, but how do we get this boy, first of all, to not be angry with mom, and to, you know, he's, you know, I don't know if he's admitted it to his grandparents or whatever. Loving kid, just how do we get him to stay on track?
Well, here's the thing.
Without feeling...
Karen, you live in Southern California, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So this isn't something where you can get him to do something. There are professionals that need to come around him and provide treatment to him. And that treatment takes a long time. And it might be treatment because he touched the little girl, or it might be treatment because he has a sick mother that accused him of something that he didn't do, and before she talked to him, she had him arrested. But he needs treatment. There's no getting him to do something, to accept his... There's no saying this and, okay, now I understand about my angry mom, or I'm over this thing of touching this little girl. It's a complex, intricate, multidimensional treatment that needs to be implemented here. And there are people that are trained to deal with sexual abuse survivors and to deal with young perpetrators of sexual abuse his age. We'll take a break and come right back.
We knew our marriage was broken, but we didn't know how to fix it.
The New Life Intimacy and Marriage Workshop will be held online Saturday, October 24th.
It has transformed our lives, our marriage. You have reached our home. You have helped transform our lives.
Join Steve Arterburn.
It's been a dream of mine for a long time to help people to grow more intimately together, and we believe that everybody has room to grow in the intimacy level of their life.
And Milan Yerkovich.
We help couples understand how their attachment style is sabotaging their current relationship, and then we teach them how to create comfort in a relationship.
To register or to find out more, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433, or go to newlife.com.
Thank you for giving us a pathway where we can humble ourselves and say, Lord, we need help. Help us fix it. And we thank you for that.
Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE for more information. 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
I was really living a very anxiety-filled life. I turned on New Life, and the topic that day was about anxiety. And just by listening, I got relief.
You can help New Life Live stay on the air by joining Club New Life today. When you sign up to support us monthly through Club New Life, we'll send you the new member thank you gift of 7 books, including Growth Has No Boundaries by Drs. John Townsend and Henry Cloud, Take Your Life Back by Steve Arterburn and Dr. Dave Stoop, and the Emotional Freedom Workbook. Plus, there are ongoing benefits like access to the Club New Life video library, the monthly Club New Life CD or download, quarterly resources, free shipping on purchased resources, and discounts on workshops. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. Support Club New Life, and together we can help hurting people find help and hope in life's hardest places. Call 1-800-639-5433 to join Club New Life today. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back. Steve Arterburn here, and we didn't even talk about the 6-year-old and what needs to happen there. Jill, as I'm talking about this, what are you thinking as we're going over this?
Well, I'm thinking that this is a very chaotic household. And that a lot of attention needs to be paid on the different individuals, because these are children that are being influenced. And so we need some sane and healthy people to get involved, and, perhaps some child advocates. And we were talking about child protective services, because I'm worried about the 6-year-old. Either something happened to her, or she's learning that that's a way that you get, your way. She may be mimicking things that the mom has done. And then this boy must be very, confused one way or another. So we need to get all the members help, I think, right away.
Mm-hmm. And I would imagine that if he was arrested by the police in juvenile hall, then released, 2 questions. Well, one, a statement. I would assume Child Protective Services has been alerted and is involved. But the second thing is, where will this child go, this 15-year-old? And where will the 6-year-old and the 4-year-old go? This is not a healthy family. If the grandparents are getting drunk and the mother is a highly reactive individual, these kids are simply reflecting out the atmosphere of that family. And so we look at them as the perpetrator and the victim, but really they're all victims, and they need to be loved and held into a level of consideration where, as you just said, Jill, where their needs are taken into consideration, because they're not right now, based upon the description that we heard.
Right. Yeah. And there are situations. I know of one right now. A friend of mine has a foster daughter with the goal of reworking her back into her family home once the family learns how to be less chaotic. And so working together as a team. So there are situations like that that can be really helpful at reunification once everybody has had some time away and gotten the help that they need.
The child cannot regulate. The child cannot regulate to the degree the parent can't.
Right.
The child cannot be a stable individual if the parents, grandparents are unstable. So they're going to act out in a lot of weird ways.
Right. Good. Karen?
Yeah. Well, let me just clarify something. So really, the only stability that these kids have had was with their grandparents. Like I said, the grandparents, they have made tremendous strides. They've overcome their addictions years ago. They're hard workers. They are loving grandparents. It's only when this daughter gets to their space, she causes chaos. Now, she's talking about something that happened a while back, and she brought it up after punching the grandpa and for just standing there. She had been letting him watch these kids since they were young, since they were really, really young. And then all of a sudden, just to put guilt and shame on her mom, she, he did this to me.
All right, so here's the thing, Karen, here's the thing. We're just about out of time, but as a neighbor or concerned person, there's not a lot that you can do. But if I was talking with the grandparents, I would be saying this: cooperate with the authorities so that this is the worst thing that ever happens in this family, that they get the help. And the word isn't just help or counseling, it's treatment.
I have anxiety. I've had an anxiety disorder probably for 10 years.
Okay.
But recent, I am just waking up in the morning, like, totally anxious. Now, by the time evening comes, I'm fine and back to myself. But, like, from the moment I wake up until probably 3 or 4 in the afternoon, I am, like, a total mess. Whether I lay in bed and just, like, deal with it, or, like, today I just got up and I just kept doing things. I felt like I was going to throw up most of the day, and I'm tense and I'm feeling very anxious, but I just kept doing. I'm just going to keep moving and I'll be fine.
Okay. All right, so we don't have a lot of time, so ask us a question we could help you with.
Is this a thing, and which direction can I go? I've been to my doctor. My blood levels are fine. Where do I go with this? I just don't know.
Milan, what are you thinking about this waking up anxious from the very beginning?
Well, this is common that people with anxiety disorders wake up a day and then they feel overwhelmed at what is today. And it just creates this generalized anxiety. I would Google GAD, generalized anxiety disorder, and because you gave us an important clue. It's worse in the morning, but after dinner in the evening, I can rest, and I don't feel that way because the day is through.
Right. There's pressure upon waking, right?
That's right.
Having to face the day.
I literally am retired. I do nothing all day.
Well, maybe it's the loneliness. Maybe it's a lack of purpose. Maybe it's a lack of direction. Maybe it's a lack of a schedule.
Maybe it's that anxiety fills the emptiness, right? There's some impending doom, almost like you're looking for a purpose to rally around. But in this case, it's negative.
Right.
Right?
Okay.
So, what do you do with each day? If you say you do nothing, well, there's anxiety in that because it's purposeless to have nothing to focus on in a day.
Yeah.
Yeah, and of course, with all the unknowns, the COVID virus and the economy and all these things, it's tough just to be alive right now. We don't even realize it sometimes, but there's this added stress and pressure.
But once you're scared, Steve and Jill, once you get scared, it kicks in more every day. It feeds itself. Right. And so
your body just reacts.
That's right. The body reacts automatically. So an antidepressant has been helpful to me and other people that I know. It's called an SSRI. It helps elevate serotonin in your brain, which is a mood elevator, and it gives you a lot more resilience. It's like I'm playing in the shallow part of the pool, and I can have a lot of fun. I'm not in the deep anymore, and I'm struggling to breathe. It just can give a person relief.
Well, and getting out and walking like 20 minutes a day.
Walking, exercising. You said sometimes you lie around, but those would be some things we recommend. But I would Google that.
Also, you need to talk to yourself. I mean, a lot of people have written a lot of stuff, even Dave Stube, about self-talk, but you need to tell yourself, okay, I felt this way yesterday. Nothing happened. It went away. So I'm going to assume nothing's going to happen today. This is going to go away. I'm going to be all right. What you say to yourself has a lot to do with it. All right. Glad you called. I'm going to send Take Your Life Back to You. I hope that it will help you. 1-800-229-3000. You can join us. Would love for you to on the next program. But hold on. We'll get to your call here. And don't forget, Intimacy in Marriage. It's online, easy to access. And then Every Man's Battle is this weekend. Intimacy in Marriage, the 24th. We love you. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks
Bye-bye.
for listening. We hope this program has helped you by giving you insights for handling the challenges you face in your life. We want you to know that we're here for you, but you also need to know that New Life Live is a listener-supported ministry. To make your donation or to get any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433, or write to us at New Life Ministries, P.O. Box 1029, Lake Forest, California, 92609. Please join us again tomorrow for New Life Live.
Hi, Steve Arterburn here. Thanks for watching New Life Live on our New Life YouTube channel. You know, you can see it anytime. Hope you'll subscribe, and when you do, hope you'll turn that little button thing on, the bell, so that whenever we post a new video, it'll ring right through. Now, if you go to newlife.com, you'll see the schedule of when we're in the studio, which is helpful to know if you have a question for the program, or you could go to newlife.com or call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. You could do this on the app. I mean, there's so many ways that you can stay in touch with us and know when we're there, because we want to answer your questions. So thanks for watching right here on the New Life YouTube channel, and we'll see you next time. Click here to subscribe.